Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Ned over at My Philippine Dreams, coming at you from Dumaguete City, the city of gentle people. This is no word of a lie. Just yesterday morning, I was lying on the couch and I was thinking to myself, wow, self, it's been a long time since I've had to do a video on foreigners misbehaving in the Philippines or something bad happening to a foreigner in the Philippines. Then, later that night, somebody sent me a link to an article of a tragedy that occurred up in Bacolod, which blew that whole thinking out of the water. Okay, so before we get down into the weeds on this, let's talk about a few things. Security. Security is pretty important in the Philippines. Having security grates on your windows is important. Having fences, having walls. If you have a house, it's important to have that. If you have plant growth around the house or your apartment or whatever, it's good to trim that down, especially around windows. It's not good to have trees that people can climb around your house. CCTV, closed circuit television is important to have. Having dogs, barking dogs is a good thing. And most of all, and this is the biggest thing as far as I'm concerned, having good neighbors is pretty important. In our little neighborhood, in our little cul-de-sac here in the Pink House, we are actually surrounded by good neighbors. As a matter of fact, when we leave the house to run like small errands and stuff, we normally won't lock the doors or the gate. We'll just leave them, basically unlocked and go do our thing because there's never been any incidences in this area. Well, of course, until there is an incident. Also, criminal focus. A lot of times people think that foreigners are unjustly targeted in the Philippines. It's not just foreigners that are being targeted. Wealthy Filipinos are also targets of opportunistic criminal gangs. Also, Asian foreigners are targeted quite a bit. And the most egregious example of that was a Korean businessman. He owned a business in the Philippines. His name was Ji Ik Ju, who was kidnapped by the police in 2016 and lost his life in the headquarters of the Philippine National Police headquarters at Camp Crane. And finally, the third thing, don't be a hero. If you're confronted by criminals and they have a gun or a knife and they want your money or whatever, just give it to them. I've personally known of a few cases where somebody woke up, there was an intruder in the house, they tried to stop them, and they were taken out. Okay, with those three qualifiers out of the way, let's get down into it. This is breaking news coming out of Bacolod, up in Negros Occidental. This is on the same island that I am on. One Belgian national was pronounced DOA after a June 17, 2020 shooting in the city of Bacolod, the city of smiles. The 76-year-old victim, Carl Nolans, was a resident of Block 1, Lot 34 on Beach Road, and the Villa Angela subdivision, Barangay Villamonte in Bacolod City. The subdivision of Villa Angela is located just behind the city hall. We were actually there not too long ago. Back in March, we were there. It is a wealthy neighborhood, but does not have a secured entry gate. A lot of times in the Philippines, subdivisions, nicer subdivisions, will have guards at the gate. They have some of them have a literal gate that goes up and down. They check access, they see who's coming and going, and there's a lot of security. The houses in the villa are also well spaced from each other, with empty unsold lots giving each home lots of space and privacy. It was in this opulent, unsecured subdivision that Mr. Nolans and his wife lived in a lovely, newly built two-story home. And you can actually see the picture up there on the video. Based on initial investigations by Police Station 4, this is in Bacolod City, the four suspects entered the premises at around 1:50 a.m. Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. They reportedly entered through a grill in the fence and climbed a tree next to the house, gaining access to a second-floor balcony. They then woke up and tied up two of the couple's live-in helpers and proceeded to ransack the house for valuables. Mr. Nolans woke up from the noise, reportedly resisted, and one of the intruders discharged his weapon, striking the 76-year-old Belgian national 3 times in the stomach. The men then took a bag containing 20,000 pesos, that's around $400 US, a cell phone, and a pair of sunglasses. The victim's wife, Liza Marie Batingue Nolans, jumped to safety from the second floor of the house. She was injured in the fall and was later taken to the hospital. According to the family's driver, Guillermo Perez, the four suspects were armed with military-type assault rifles, specifically M16s, and sidearms pistols. Mr. Nolans was rushed to Bacolod Metro Hospital, but to no avail. He later succumbed to his injuries. Local police investigators have stated that they already have persons of interest identified and noted that they are members of a notorious burglary and robbery ring operating in both Negros Oriental and Occidental. This firearms-related termination was just one of 10 noted on the island of Negros in less than a week. So yeah, in the past 6 days on our happy little island, there's been 10 cases like this in just the past 6 days. So this is an unfortunate, tragic incident where somebody passed away, somebody died, somebody was taken down for only $400 US, a cell phone, and a pair of sunglasses. But it's something that happens, and it's something that we have to be aware of. The last incident that I can remember happening was about 2015 or 2017 up around Bacolod City, where the helpers actually took out a foreigner and his Filipino wife, dumped the remains into a well, and were later captured with and they got like some cell phones and a tablet and a small amount of cash. So again, this is tragic. This is unfortunate. Best to his family and his survivors and his wife. And until next time, stay safe, everybody. Hey, if you consider our work to be of any value, consider supporting us on Patreon. If you're a Patreon, you get a free copy of my ebook, and we do monthly Google Hangouts. So consider doing that, if you would please.